With a name like All Things Star Wars Considered, you realize that I'm always going to be switching it up. Today is no different. Hey Star Wars fans, welcome back to another video from All Things Star Wars Considered. As always, I'm your host Doug, and today we're going to talk about a line of action figures that I've rarely or barely touched upon in the nearly year and a half that I've been doing this channel. Today we're going to talk about the Kenner 12-inch large size action figure line, and I kind of said that with almost like a little bit of a smirk. The reason being is when we're talking about boys' toys, we're talking about action figures. If we were talking about girls' toys, they would be dolls. We have Kenner action figures, Barbie dolls, and there really is no difference. When I break this down and show you the figures, you're going to see that there really isn't much of a difference. But in any event, yeah, we're going to get into that. We haven't talked much about it in the year and a half that I've been doing the channel, and I was kind of looking back, and I'm like, you know what? We need to touch upon some different lines of toys, and I thought this was a perfect place to start. There's 12 of them. They put out 10 initially, and then right before The Empire Strikes Back came out, they put out Boba Fett and IG-88. They had a bunch of others planned, but obviously sales didn't add up, and the line was canceled. We have talked about this in the past, and obviously, you know, multiple lines of toys within the Star Wars franchise was tough to sustain for Kenner. You know, parents invest in the 3 3/4 inch line. They're buying their kids figures. They're buying their kids ships, land speeders, beasts like dewbacks, the Death Star PlayStation, the Cantina Adventure Set, troop transports. It all adds up. And then all of a sudden this line comes out. The figures are $10 a piece. And that doesn't seem like a big deal, but when you got to buy multiples, it adds up fast. So parents initially were a little bit on board, but once they realized they had to buy multiple figures and the money started adding up, they quickly kind of said, nope, let's focus on the 3 3/4. And obviously Kenner took note, canceled the line. So today we're going to get into that line a little bit. We're going to probably take this in 3 segments, I'm thinking. Maybe we'll do 4, 4, and 4. So when we return, we're going to get into it. So stick around. That's all coming up next. Okay, first things first. Now, don't get too excited. I only have a few of these boxes. I collected a couple of these figures when I was a child. I got the Jawa and I got Obi-Wan Kenobi. My brother had Chewbacca. My buddy Levine had Boba Fett. But I didn't really start collecting these figures. I'm doing air quotes behind the camera. These dolls until much later on. I was an adult by the time I started collecting these. So along the way, I've picked up most of these figures loose. I did actually pick up C-3PO at the Toy Vault in Attleboro. And so I'm going to start with that. As we go along, I will show a box here or there, but for the most part, I've only got 4 or 5 boxes. So and there's 12 figures, so most of these are going to be minus the box. But I figured let's start with this one. Now, like I said, I picked this up at the Attleboro Toy Vault. I think I paid about $100 for it. On the front says C-3PO. He's got the green name pill, and it says contents 12-inch posable action figure with gold metallic finish, authentically detailed. Now, if we slide to the side, you can see the Star Wars logo, C-3PO, large size action figure, 12-inch posable action figure, gold metallic finish, authentically detailed, and of course there's the Kenner logo at the bottom. Now, here's actually something kind of neat. This whole back of the box was absolutely trashed when I bought it. you can see right where my finger is, that's all part of the rip. Now, that rip started here at these 2 points and went down to this point right there. I actually kind of cleaned the box up. I actually recreated the Star Wars logo there. I actually pulled the Luke and Leia Hildebrandt off an existing package. I want to say maybe the Black Series line of figures. I pulled that off, glued it on. I colored this black. I colored this black. I redid all the writing. I couldn't do that. This was too difficult, and I actually painted this little bit green. So it just cleaned the box up. You know, I love how it came out. It just makes the box a little bit more displayable. Of course, we have 3PO and R2, and then they show us still from the movie of how they're recreating that scene. I love that. Here's C-3PO after he must have taken a bad step. Where am I? We got to get out of here before the Sand People return. And of course, they show the toy in action with Luke Skywalker. And then it says other action figures sold separately, and this cute little kid playing with C-3PO. And you know how I feel about that. I always love the kids playing with the toy on the back. Of course, if we flip this way, we have the same image that we had on the other side. So we're not going to even bother laboring on that. The top of the box says Star Wars C-3PO large size action figure. See the Luke and Leia Hildebrandt, the Kenner logo. And this was purchased at Child World. I think the back of the box pretty much says the same. That also has a Child World sticker, and the price tag has been blotted out, so I have no idea. But I'm thinking somewhere around $10 because that's what these figures were. Now, we have this little flap here, and that shows the figure. And very neat. I love it. And, of course, we've got a nice image from the movie. The green name pill, the green backer here, C-3PO. And contents 12-inch disposable action figure with gold metallic finish, authentically detailed. Now, obviously, this wasn't sealed, so we are going to get into it. We have this green backer here, which is original. Still got the holes, but it's pretty beat up, but that's okay. It's okay. And we're going to slide that back in place. We're going to pull the doll out, the figure out. And let's take a look at C-3PO. This is really, really well done. The vac metal on this came out outstanding. I mean, there's not a whole heck of a lot to C-3PO. Obviously, the head turns. Oh, wow. The arms move. I'm not going to even move that one. It's pretty tight, and I don't want to be moving limbs on a figure that doesn't really need to be moved. But yeah, obviously the legs move, the arms move. So it's like a standard 3 3/4 inch action figure. It's just got 5 points of articulation: the head, the 2 arms, and the 2 legs. Now let's flip him to the back. Again, great detailing. You know, they really didn't miss much with this. There's a screw there that kind of holds this whole thing together, and a couple of screws there. So I guess if you ever needed to kind of replace a part, maybe an arm broken, you probably could pull this apart to actually repair him. If anybody can do it, it'll probably be Toy Polloi. So yeah, there's not a whole heck of a lot that kind of can be said about 3PO. He doesn't come with any accessories, and that's about it. Now, let's bring in his counterpart. Now again, like I said, I don't have boxes for most of these figures. So here comes R2. And the unfortunate thing about R2 is no third leg. Couldn't understand it. We had a larger scale. Why couldn't they have done something with the bottom here to accommodate a third leg? But they just didn't. So obviously we have the dome. That's vac metal as well. And when you turn it, it clicks. And then, of course, you have articulation at this joint, articulation at that joint. Let's look at him from the side. Let's look at him from the back. And let's look at him from that side. Now, let's show you the one feature. I mean, you can obviously pose him, you know. But the one feature about this figure is you have this button here. So you push on this, and you push on that, this opens, and here's your Death Star plans. And there's 2 little, they look almost like little attaché cases, little briefcases. And there's some slides in there, and they just kind of slide in there and lock into place. And there's a nice little decal in the back. I don't know if you can see it. Don't want to get in my light. Let's see if I can kind of, it's tough because I need to kind of hold that open. And I'm sure people out there, like my friend Gary, he gets nervous when he sees me doing these reviews because he thinks I'm going to break something. And I told him, you know what? If I break it, I'll just go out and buy another one. I'm not going to stress over it. So you got the Death Star plans there. They go in there, and then that clicks into place. And again, word to the wise, most of the time when you find this figure, the dome is a lot of times trashed. The Death Star plans are missing, and it's very yellow. And unfortunately, my dome's in good shape. That's fortunate. I have the Death Star plans, fortunately, but he is kind of yellow. That's the unfortunate part. And I thought about kind of submerging him in some peroxide to kind of bring him back, but I'm a little bit nervous about the dome. I don't want to mess with the dome because it's in great condition. Now, you're going to think this is a little weird that I'm going from the two droids to the Stormtrooper. And you'll see when this video's over why I chose these particular four. But here's the Stormtrooper. Nothing really earth-shattering about this figure. It's molded well. It looks the part. Just like the original Stormtrooper, no turning head. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 points of articulation, and he's pretty tight. I don't even want to mess with that. So, he gets yellow. That's a problem. But this one is a little bit easier to submerge in some peroxide without kind of washing the rest of the figure out. I just haven't gotten around to doing that. There is some articulation in the wrists. They turn. It's like kind of like there's like a little ball in there, and that kind of slides into that sleeve there. So that's how those hands kind of move. You don't really need them to, but just to show you. And then here's the blaster. Pretty neat. And then the one feature on this figure is this holster, and I don't quite get it, but it was kind of like it was supposed to kind of slide this in there, and then the gun was supposed to kind of sit at his hip. Let's see if I can kind of get it to do that. You gotta kind of get it to fit around the trigger so that it actually kind of let's kind of do this. I apologize. Yeah, if you do that, then it hangs. You have to kind of loop it around the trigger, and then that's his holster. So if you want to just kind of stand him on the shelf without the blaster in his hand, it would hang at the ready. And word to the wise, I have actually pulled this figure apart. I don't know if I pulled this specific figure apart, but there's a couple of screws there, there's a screw there, and a screw there. And if you do that, you can pull it apart and actually replace that rope string holster. I didn't do it on this one, but I have done it on another one. What I've done with these figures is I've improved them along the way. My original Stormtrooper, something was wrong with the arms, and the rope holster was missing. I actually replaced it, and then I ended up picking this one up after the fact. So just kind of pop him over there. We have time for one more, and of course I was going to save the best for the last, and the one I'm saved for the last is Han Solo. Now, for most people, this is a grail. The reason it's a grail is because this medal that he didn't get for nothing, I didn't get this medal for nothing. You're probably wondering what the heck's he saying that for. You'll see. Is usually missing. Now, this medal is original. I actually got this figure off my buddy Levine. He bought one in the box, and as such, and then he turned around and just sold me this one for what he paid for it. Now, the likeness of Harrison Ford is really well done, especially for 78. He comes with his vest. He comes with the shirt. He has his belt with the blaster that fits in the holster here. Pretty neat. Let's kind of put the gun in his hand. And as you can see, looks pretty cool. He's got his boots. He's got the pants. And there's a lot of accessories on this figure. And along the way, when you pick this up, sometimes this silver detail is all washed away from just kids handling it. Most of the time, this blaster is missing. The metal almost all the time is missing. And then, obviously, there's varying states for the rest of the figure. Sometimes you'll find them with a Luke shirt, A lot of times this vest is either missing or torn. Sometimes he doesn't have the boots. The belt is almost always missing. And my figure's in excellent condition. I am thrilled to have this figure. But the only way it would be better is if I had him in the box. And, there's repro boxes out there if you really want to add to these figures. I've actually ordered a box. I got it from, I think, someplace in Spain or something, and I was very, very impressed. And maybe as we go along, I'll actually show that. But, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed these four. And you're probably, again, like I said, you're probably wondering why I chose these four. But you'll see. So stick around. That's coming. Oh, I put my finger in there. I'm just trying to kind of get them in frame a little bit more and zoom in. So hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you on the next one.
I'm after the Death Star plans.
Kenner's Star Wars large-size action figures sold separately with movable arms and legs. C-3PO, R2-D2, Han Solo and the Stormtrooper.
You'll never find a plan, Stormtrooper.
You can push R2-D2's secret button to open his hidden compartment.
Plans are safe and the Stormtrooper's gone. Thanks, Han. I didn't get this medal for nothing.
Large-size Stormtrooper, R2-D2, C-3PO, Han Solo, each sold separately from Kenner.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the review of the 12-inch Kenner action figure line put out in 78, I believe. So I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to do a series of these videos. I don't want to kind of inundate you with like all 12 right out of the gate. Just too much. So we'll probably do 4, 4, and 4. If I'm so inclined, maybe next time I would do 8. But I think I'm going to do 4, 4, and 4. It'll be a nice little 3-series run. And then we'll move on, and that'll be it. Because there's obviously not a whole heck of a lot more we can do beyond that. The line didn't last beyond 1980. So I hope you enjoyed it. And we are going to move on and start to wrap things up. Before we do so, though, I'd like to thank everybody for the continued support of my humble little All Things Star Wars Considered YouTube channel. Obviously, I've picked up a bunch of new subscribers, and for that, I'm appreciative. So if you have subscribed, welcome aboard. And to all my previous subscribers, thank you for your support as well. You know, we can't do this without all of you guys. So thanks. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. You know that helps the channel as well. If you have a question, a comment, maybe you want to weigh in on the 12-inch line of figures, maybe share a story, please leave it in the comment section, and you know I'll get back to each and every one of you. Want to remind everybody to have a great day. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you on the next video. And as always, may the Force be with you. One final thing. Why did he have to go?